If you're after a cool look and a burly sound with more than acceptable volume for your truck, then the Magnaflow Street Series dual exhaust we have here is going to be just to your speed. The Street Series is exactly what the name implies, a perfect setup for a daily driven truck that sees a lot of time on the street or highway. And if you want your 2019 and newer 5.3-liter Silverado or Sierra 1500 to make a little more sound and breathe better than stock without the obnoxious volume that often comes with aftermarket exhausts, this system should be your go-to. It's equal parts fun and pleasant to live with, but it still gives your truck some of that hallmark Magnaflow rumble and character. I like to call these the Goldilocks system, as they strike a really nice balance between improved sound and livability. So for that reason, this one gets a strong 2 out of 5 on our loudness meter. It's still an upgrade versus stock, but it's mild enough to be a great choice for a daily driven truck. While making the venerable 5.3-liter Vortec louder isn't difficult, just ripping the mufflers off might be a step too far for most of us. However, Magnaflow's Street Series exhaust gives you a nice balance of good tone and tolerable volume. And as you heard from the clips at the beginning of the video, this system gives these big Vortec motors a nice, smooth, deep rumble that is befitting the engine's power output. You get some of that trademark small block Chevy bark too, but it's not too over the top, and there's no real raspiness to speak of. Mild is the best way to describe it, as again, it really strikes that balance of extra volume and exhaust flow with everyday livability, which also means that you will be greeted by a very pleasant driving experience, which is something I know most of us can appreciate, especially if you drive your truck every day. Again, as you heard from the sound clips, this system is pretty unobtrusive. You can hear it more than your stock exhaust, but it's just a nice low hum that blends nicely into the background of a highway commute, a fun conversation with passengers, or even some of your favorite tunes. But when you crack the throttle open and nail it, you can really get to hear the engine sing. It's not overbearing in any way, and there's really no drone to speak of. All of this is thanks to the included muffler. Since this is a full catback system, it's going to replace your original resonator and muffler, leaving you with just this little canister style one. And Magnaflow calls these straight through. You can probably see though that there are perforations in the core, and as you can hear, there's quite a bit of packing going on inside to help keep volume in check and stave off drone or other unpleasant frequencies. The other thing you might have noticed about this muffler is the little valve that's included in here. So just like your stock system, there's a valve that is just actuated by exhaust flow. So let me show you that one. So when you really get on it, that valve opens up, it allows a little bit more flow, and it makes these sound a little bit better. It's a cool thing to see included here because it's not something I've seen on many other aftermarket systems, even for these trucks that have this sort of valve from the factory. It's a nice little OEM plus sort of upgrade here. Now this particular system also exits out beneath your rear bumper, very much in the classic hot rod type of style. Magnaflow offers this same exhaust in a few different configurations as well, should those be more your taste. But in this particular one, the end of the pipes and the big quad tips here are finished in this matte black coating for some additional protection and a more aggressive look. So in addition to adding some sound, it's also going to make for a nice visual upgrade. Construction here is all 409 grade stainless steel, so it's pretty solid and provides you with some good resistance to rust and corrosion, quite a bit more than you get with your factory system. It's also going to save you a bit of money versus a full T304 stainless setup. You do get a little extra protection for the ends of the piping and the tips in the form of that matte black powder coating, and the piping here is 3 inches in diameter to the Y pipe, and then with 2.5-inch diameter piping all the rest of the way. All of the piping is mandrel bent, of course, making for good exhaust flow and lower back pressure than stock, so again, your engine is going to breathe a bit better than it did with the stock exhaust. The tips are made from T304 stainless as well, with that same coating as the pipe, so these should look good and last you a long time. And you can tell the moment you pull it out that this is a well-made exhaust, which makes the price a little bit easier to swallow. Speaking of, this system will run you about $2,300, and that does put it toward the top end of the category. Again, the build and sound quality here really make the price quite a bit easier to swallow. It's truly a very nice exhaust that sounds great and isn't going to hinder your driving experience in any way. So if you daily drive your truck and you've got a little extra cash sitting around, this one is well worth picking up. Installation is about what you'd expect for an aftermarket exhaust, and accordingly gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter with an install time of about 2 hours. This is a bolt-on system that does not require you to make any modifications to your truck, and it's going to utilize all your factory exhaust hanger locations. All the new clamps and hardware you need are included in the box as well, so it's ready to go. And now, to show you what that process looks like, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact and ratchet, 3/8 extension, 13 and 15 millimeter socket, 10 millimeter wrench, exhaust hanger tool, and also not shown be a lift and pull jack. All right, today we're going to be installing an exhaust on our Sierra. First, we're going to watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock system, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
All right guys, so we've got our truck in the air, and the first thing we're gonna do is start at the tail section, and we're gonna go ahead and unbolt this crossover pipe. So that's got a 2-bolt flange connecting it, so it's a 13 millimeter swivel socket and extension on our impact. We're gonna fish that up in there, unbolt those 2 nuts, and then we can go ahead and remove the rear hanger and get this driver's side crossover tube out, and then we can move on to the rest of our system. So now we're going to come back to our tail section, and what we're going to do is remove this entire isolator. Instead of trying to get this out of the isolator, it's much easier to just go ahead and take this 15 millimeter bolt out and remove this whole assembly as one piece, and then we can take it off once it's on the ground. So we'll grab our 15 mil socket on our impact and go ahead and run that bolt out. Now we will need to support our tailpipe here while we go ahead and unbolt that. Now that we have that unbolted, we'll go ahead and unhook this from its locator, twist that down. So now we've got our driver's side tailpipe in hand, and what we're going to do is push it towards the driver's side wheel here, so to get it off of the 2 mounting studs on that flange, and then we're going to go ahead and drop it down and pull it back and go ahead and get it out. So like so. So now we can go ahead and start removing the main section of our catback. So what we're going to do is start at the ball flare clamp here at the end of our Y pipe, and we're going to go ahead and loosen that up. We're going to go ahead and remove the hangers as well, moving all the way back to the tailpipe, and then go ahead and remove the other rear hanger isolator just as we showed you on the driver's side with another 15 mil bolt. We're going to go ahead and throw a pole jack under the muffler to help support the system while we do this. So now we can go ahead and grab our 13 mil socket on our impact, loosen up this clamp, get it out of the way. You just want to push this back far enough to where it doesn't interfere with your connection. So next we're going to go ahead and remove this hanger from the isolator. So we've got our hanger removal tool. We'll go ahead and pop that out. So now we've come to the rear of our system, and just like the other side, we're going to go ahead and pop this rear hanger isolator off. Then go ahead and remove the 2 mid hangers at the muffler, and then go ahead and remove our system. So we've got our 15 mil socket on our ratchet. We'll go ahead and pop this off, work our way up to the middle 2 hangers, and then go ahead and pop those off. Got that out. Go ahead and remove that from its locator so it's out of the way. We can even take that all the way off right now. So now we've got our hanger removal tool. We'll go ahead and get these 2 muffler hangers off. And we've also got an extra set of hands. This is going to be very helpful to get this system off, as it needs to kind of finagle around the differential and the cross member up front. Now you want to make sure you are supporting your system as you remove this last hanger. We'll go ahead and lower our pole jack. Get that out of the way. Then we'll have to slide our system to the side. Let's get it down. So now we're going to have to bring our system back a hair. You want to make sure you don't catch it on any lines or anything like that. So once you get your mid-pipe flange across your cross member, you can start to go back forward. Drop the front of your system down. And go ahead and feed your system out. So now that we have everything off, we'll go ahead and pull this last rear hanger isolator off from our driver's side one that we set aside earlier. So just go ahead and pop that right off and go ahead and set it aside.
All right, now for our factory tip here, we do have to remove this because our new exhaust has tips built in. So there are 3 10mm bolts holding the back side of this. It's pretty tight, so we're gonna be using a 10mm ratcheting wrench to get through the back side. So we're on the back side of our bumper here. On the top, you're gonna see 1 10mm bolt. We're gonna get that off using our ratcheting wrench. Get that loose and off. Now that one's out of the way, we can actually pull down a little bit. Now you're gonna see one through here. Ours is missing on the other side. So we're just gonna have this one left here. I'm gonna take my ratcheting wrench and loosen that nut up in here. Probably not gonna be able to see this because it is jammed in between that frame here, but see if we can get that out by hand. Now, like I said, you would have to take the other one out on the other side there. Since we're missing ours, just gonna remove this altogether. So as you can see, we have the 2 up top here. There's the one we're missing, and then the one that goes on the back side. So go ahead and remove all this, do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna start off with our inlet pipe here. That's gonna go up over this cross member onto our factory pipe and into this isolator here. Just get that all lined up. And as you can see, I have a pull jack here just to help hold everything up. Next, we have our muffler section. I have one of our larger clamps already slid over. Just gonna get this over our inlet pipe. Let that rest there so we can get our over the axle pipes on. Now we have our over the axle Y pipe here. I already have one of our larger clamps just rested over. Now it's gonna go up into our muffler and into our 2 hangers here. So now we have our passenger side tailpipe. So I'm gonna grab our hanger that we took off, just slide that over. Now I'm gonna get this into our Y pipe. First, I have one of our smaller 2.5-inch clamps on it. Just like this. And go ahead and get our hanger held up and just thread our bolt in for right now. So we're just gonna do the same thing on the driver's side here now. I have our clamp over our pipe and our hanger already on. Just let that fall down. I'm gonna get this into our Y pipe. I know you probably can't see because it's all the way across the truck. Just slide that on. And we're gonna line up our hanger here and thread our bolt in. Now we're gonna go ahead and start tightening everything, starting at the front, adjusting as needed, working our way backwards. So starting at the front, we have our factory clamp already over both the pipes. Grab our impact 13mm socket, tighten this down. Now back to our muffler, we have our clamp on the front and rear. Now all of our clamps are 15mm hardware, so impact 15mm socket, tighten these 2 down. Lastly, we have our 2 clamps at our Y pipe. So we have our passenger and driver side. Go ahead and tighten those down. Lastly, we just need to tighten down our 2 hangers in the back. So grab your ratchet, 15mm socket, tighten them down. Now you can go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side. And that wraps up our install of our Magnaflow Street Series black dual exhaust system with quad black tips for a rear exit for our 2019 and newer 5.3 liter Silverado and Sierra 1500 with a factory dual exhaust. And remember, for everything Sierra, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.